Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Random Fandom. I'm your host, RavenWood.
I'm your other host, the Dominic Rex.
And welcome back to another random.
This
welcome back to another
is
RavenWood Reads with.
welcome back to the Random Fandom, and we are here again for another RavenWood Reads episode with me, the Dominic Rex.
Yes.
Today we are resuming where we left off with Michael Crichton's Jurassic Park, the first book. We'll get to the Lost World, which is also in this book because it's a double book. You see, the first half is Jurassic Park. The second half is the Lost World. We'll get to the Lost World eventually, but for now, Jurassic Park. And continue where we left off in the last episode. The last episode.
I stabbed myself with scissors. I was just kidding.
No. Henry Wu came to the conclusion that he can no longer deny it. The dinosaurs were breeding.
He can no longer deny
those
the dinosaurs were gay.
Those
I'm joking.
The dinosaurs that were breeding all had frog DNA, as explained in the DNA. Dinosaurs, the dinosaurs that Engine created, could pull off the West African frog traits of switching sex in a single-sex environment. And so Henry Wu figures out that, my God, we fucked up. And now we are going to resume today's chapter of focusing back on the point of view with Lex.
There we go. That's much better. But I don't think it's like the camera. I think it's the monitor that's a bit crooked. There we go.
It's not really. It's just.
I just noticed
how it's an angle. It's not. It's really. It's really just how we're currently formatted. But once we get a new monitor, we should be good to go. Speaking of which, we do need to get a new monitor. Then we should be good to go. But that's going to take a while. So please be patient with us.
I'll be right back before you start reading. I'll be right. Ow! I hit my foot.
You intend to leave me alone?
Give me a second. No, that's not what I wanted to do.
Luna, what are you doing? You can't be in here. You can't be in here. Hold on, let me see if I can catch my cat real quick, ladies and gents. She knows she's not supposed to be in here, but she keeps sneaking in here just so she can bother Dune. Don't you dare. Okay, this is exactly what I didn't want you in here.
Hi. We're back again.
We're back. I am currently attempting to catch my cat.
Well,
because somebody...
I went to do something real quick and only for that to backfire. It should take just 2 seconds to pick up the cat.
Okay, you do that. I'm going to get back to reading. That ran under the road. She'd unhurt, and he felt a great burst of relief. Lex, it's me, Tim. She didn't answer. She continued to bang her head on the pipe. Come on out. She shook her head no. He could see she was badly frightened. Lex, he said, if you come out, I'll let you wear these night goggles. She just shook her head. He said, holding up his hand. She stared uncomprehendingly. It was probably too dark for her to see. It's your ball, Lex. I found your ball.
She's not a dog.
So what? He tried another approach. It must be uncomfortable in there. Cold too. Wouldn't you like to come out? She resumed banging her head against the pipe. Why not? Why not? There's animals out there. That threw him for a moment. She hadn't said animals for years. The animals are the first time I've had to dumb down a sentence for ages. She resumed. Not. There's aminals out there. That threw him for a moment. She hadn't said aminals for years. The aminals are gone, he said. There's a big one, a Tyrannosaurus Rex. He's gone. Where did he go? I don't know, but he's not around here now, Tim said, hoping it was true. Lex didn't move. He heard her banging again. Tim sat down in the grass outside the pipe, where she could see him. The ground was wet where he sat. He hugged his knees and waited. He couldn't think of anything else to do.
And then the chapter is up.
You wish. Is Daddy out there?
No.
No, he said, feeling strange. He's back at home, Lex. Is Mommy? No, Lex. Are there any grown-ups out there? Lex said. Not yet, but I'm sure they'll come soon. They're probably on their way right now. Then he heard her moving inside the pipe, and she came out, shivering with cold and with dried blood on her forehead, but otherwise all right. She looked around in surprise and said, Where's Dr. Grant? I don't know. Oh, he was here before. He was? When? Before. Lex said, I saw him when I was in the pipe. Where'd he go? How am I supposed to know? Lex said, wrinkling her nose. She began to shout, Hello! Hello!
She's schizophrenic.
Dr. Grant! Dr. Grant! Tim was uneasy.
How many Dr. Grants are on the silent?
Tim was uneasy at the noise she was making. That's the wrong joke. She's just calling Dr. Grant Dr. Grant.
Hey, look at this. I'll show you all.
It's not like
Absolute convoy.
How many Sarah do you think are on this? Anyway, I don't care.
Okay, now I'm going to show the audience real quick.
Tim was uneasy at the noise she was making. It might bring back the Tyrannosaur.
Kibs from Twitter. To Miss Prime. I just want to show them that. That's all.
Okay, but it's rude to talk when someone else is reading.
Sorry, my bad.
Damn right, you're bad. The jock strap incident all over again.
What?
All right. Tim was uneasy at the noise she was making. It might bring back the Tyrannosaur. But a moment later, he heard an answering shout. It was coming from the right, over toward the Land Cruiser that Tim had left a few minutes ago. With his goggles, Tim saw with relief that Dr. Grant was walking toward them. He had a big tear in his shirt at the shoulder, but otherwise he looked okay. Thank God, he said. I've been looking for you. And then we have a gap here. I'm just going to pause like this for a moment. It gets kind of annoying to hold the book up.
I'll be off screen for just a second.
Shivering, Ed Regis got to his feet and wiped the cold mud off his face and hands. So we've transitioned. He had spent a very bad half hour wedged among big boulders on the slope of a hill below the road. He knew it wasn't much of a hiding place, but he was panicked and he wasn't thinking clearly. He had lain in this muddy, cold place and he had tried to get a hold of himself, but he kept seeing that dinosaur in his mind, that dinosaur coming toward him, toward the car. Ed Regis didn't remember exactly what had happened after that. He remembered that Lex had said something, but he hadn't stopped. He couldn't stop. He had just kept running and running. Beyond the road, he had lost his footing and tumbled down the hill and come to rest by some boulders. And it had seemed to him that he could crawl in among the boulders and hide. There was enough room, so that was what he had done.
I actually don't blame him. I think he just
Still, like, he left the children.
I hope
He could have at least taken them with him.
Since the book is much different than the movie, I hope he gets like some sort of redemption arc or something. I don't know. Or atonement. Don't do that like you know something.
I do.
Like he comes back to the children and is like, I'm sorry, children, I won't do that again.
Gasping and terrified, thinking of nothing except to get away from the Tyrannosaur. And finally, when he was wedged in there like a rat between the boulders, he had calmed down a little, and he had been overcome with horror and shame because he'd abandoned those kids.
See.
He had just run away. He had just saved himself. He knew he should go back up to the road. He should try to rescue them, because he had always imagined himself as brave and cool under pressure. But whenever he tried to get control of himself, to make himself go back up there, somehow he just couldn't. He started to feel panicky, and he had trouble breathing, and he didn't move.
Where have I felt this character arc before?
He told himself it was hopeless anyway. If the kids were still up there on the road, they could never survive. And certainly there was nothing Ed Regis could do for them. And he might as well stay where he was. No one was going to know what had happened except him.
Okay, sorry, I was just clearing off some.
And there was and there was nothing he could do. Nothing he could have done. And so Ed Regis had remained among the boulders for half an hour, fighting off panic, carefully not thinking about whether the kids had died or about what Hammond would have to say when he found out. What finally made him move was the peculiar sensation he had noticed in his mouth. The side of his mouth felt funny, kind of numb and tingling. And he wondered if he had heard it during the fall. Regis touched his face and felt swollen flesh on the side of his mouth. It was funny, but it didn't hurt at all. Then he realized the swollen flesh was a leech growing fat as it sucked his lips.
Ow.
It was practically in his mouth.
Ow.
Shivering with nausea, Regis pulled the leech away, feeling it tear from the flesh of his lips. Feeling the gush of warm blood in his mouth, he spat and flung it with disgust into the forest. He saw another leech on his forearm, folded off, leaving a dark bloody streak behind. Jesus, he was probably covered with them. That fall down the hillside, these jungle hills were full of leeches. So were the dark rocky crevices. What did the workmen say? The leeches crawled up your underwear. They liked dark, warm places.
And
we're back.
Sorry about that for that
moment. They liked dark, warm places. They liked to crawl right up your Hello! He stopped. It was a voice. Grant! Jesus, that was the little girl. Edward just listened to the tone of her voice. She didn't sound frightened or in pain. She was just calling in her insistent way. And it slowly dawned on him that something else must have happened, and that the tyrannosaur must have gone away, or at least hadn't attacked, and that the other people might still be alive. Grant and Malcolm, everyone might be alive. And the realization made him pull himself together in an instant. The way you got sober in an instant when the cops pull you over. And he felt better, because now he knew what he had to do. And as he crawled out from the boulders, he was already formulating the next step, already figuring out what he would say, how to handle things from this point. Regis wiped the cold mud off of his face and hands, the evidence that he had been hiding. He wasn't embarrassed that he had been hiding, but now he had to take charge. He scrambled back up toward the road, but when he emerged from the foliage, he had a moment of disorientation. He didn't see the cars at all. He was somehow at the bottom of the hill. The Land Cruisers must be at the top. He started walking up the hill, back toward the Land Cruisers. It was very quiet. His feet splashed in the muddy puddles. He couldn't hear the little girl anymore. Why had she stopped calling? As he walked, he began to think that maybe something had happened to her. In that case, he shouldn't walk back there. Maybe the Tyrannosaur was still hanging around. Here he was already at the bottom of the hill, not much closer to home. And it was so quiet. Spooky, it was so quiet. Ed Regis turned around and started walking back toward the camp.
Okay.
He abandoned them again. Alan Grant ran his hands over her limbs, squeezing the arms and legs briefly. She didn't seem to have any pain. We transitioned back to Alan Grant.
To be fair on Ed Regis's perspective,
she didn't seem to have any pain. It was amazing. Aside from a cut on her head, she was fine. I told you I was, she said. Well, I had to check. The boy was not quite so fortunate. Tim's nose was swollen and painful. Grant suspected it was broken. His right shoulder was badly bruised. Keep an eye on this.
Yeah.
His right shoulder was badly bruised and swollen, but his legs seemed to be all right. Both kids could walk. That was the important thing. Grant himself was all right except for a claw. It burned with every breath. It didn't seem to be serious, and it didn't limit his movement. He wondered if he had been knocked unconscious because he had only dim recollections of events immediately preceding the moment he had sat up, groaning, in the woods 10 yards from the Land Cruiser. So he got punted 10 yards away by a T-Rex. This version of Dr. Grant is an absolute unit. At first, his chest had been bleeding, so he had stuck leaves on the wound, and after a while it clotted. Then he had started walking around looking for Malcolm and the kids. Grant couldn't believe he was still alive, and as scattered images began to come back to him, he tried to make sense of them. The Tyrannosaur should have killed them all easily. Why hadn't it? Excuse me a second, I got something in my throat.
I'll be right back.
Next time I'll bring a water bottle. I'm hungry, Lex said. Me too, Grant said. We've got to get ourselves back to civilization. We've got to tell them about the ship. We're the only ones who know? Tim said. Yes, we've got to get back and tell them. Then let's walk down the road toward the hotel, Tim said, pointing down the hill. That way we'll meet them when they come for us.
No.
Grant considered that, and he kept thinking about one thing, the dark shape that had crossed between the land cruisers even before the attack started. What animal had that been? He could think of only one possibility, the little tyrannosaur. I don't think so, Tim. The road has high fences on both sides, Grant said. If one of the tyrannosaurs is far down on the road, we'll be trapped. Then should we wait here? Tim said. Lex said. I hope it won't be very long, Grant said. I don't want to stay here, Lex complained again. Then from the bottom of the hill they heard the sound of a man coughing. Stay here, Grant said. He ran forward to look down the hill. Stay here, Tim. No, hold on. Stay here, Tim said, and he ran forward after Grant. Lex followed her brother. Don't leave me here, guys. Grant clapped his hand over her mouth. She struggled to protest. He shook his head and pointed over the hill for her to look. At the bottom of the hill, Grant saw Ed Regis standing rigid, unmoving. The forest around them became deadly silent. The steady background drone of cicadas and frogs had ceased abruptly. There was only the faint rustle of leaves and the whine of the wind. Lex started to speak, but Grant pulled her against the trunk of the nearest tree, ducking down among the heavy gnarled roots at the base. Tim came in right after them. Grant put his hands to his lips, signaling them to be quiet. Slowly looked around the tree. The road below was dark, and as the branches of the big trees moved in the wind, the moonlight filtering through made a dappled, shifting pattern. Ed Regis was gone. It took Grant a moment to locate him. The publicist was pressed up against the trunk of a big tree, hugging it. Regis wasn't moving at all. The forest remained silent. Lex tugged impatiently at Grant's shirt. She wanted to know what was happening. Then from somewhere very near, they heard a soft, snorting exhalation, hardly louder than the wind. Lex heard it too, because she stopped struggling. The sound floated toward them again, soft as a sigh. Grant thought it was almost like the breathing of a horse. Grant looked back at Regis and saw the moving shadows cast by the moonlight on the trunk of the tree. And then Grant realized there was another shadow superimposed on the others, but not moving. A strong curved neck and a square head. The exhalation came again. Tim leaned forward cautiously to look. Lex did too. They heard a crack as a branch broke, and into the path stepped a tyrannosaur. It was the juvenile. So the juvenile tyrannosaur. That's right. The juvenile tyrannosaur was also in the first Jurassic Park. There were 2 T-Rexes, but they only had time to include one in the movie. Anyways. It was the juvenile. Sneeze again, I swear.
I covered my mouth.
It was the juvenile, about 8 feet tall, and it moved with the clumsy gait of a young animal, almost like a puppy. The juvenile interrupted me again. All right. The juvenile tyrannosaur shuffled down the path, stopping with every step to sniff the air before moving on. It passed the tree where Regis was hiding and gave no indication that it had seen him. Grant saw Regis's body relax slightly. Regis turned his head, trying to watch the tyrannosaur on the far side of the tree.
Come on, Regis, lock in. Stay alive. For anybody, I want.
Mecca, chameleon.
Like, the young juvenile Tyrannosaurus has like a shotgun.
This is a game of Mecha Chameleons. Lock in hiders.
It would be funny if like it finds like Dr. Grant and the kid, and the kid's like, really? The three of you over there? Oh. And Regis, it like whistles.
The Tyrannosaur was now out of view down the road. Regis started to relax, releasing his grip on the tree, but the jungle remained silent. Regis remained close to the tree trunk for another half a minute. Would you stop?
I'm reading as well.
Okay, but your head's getting lower and lower.
Okay, sorry.
I do not appreciate it.
Then move it a bit closer towards me. So
no, I'm reading.
It's a very intriguing part.
Okay. Shut up.
I didn't say anything.
Regis remained close to the tree trunk for another half a minute. Then the sounds of the forest returned. The first tentative croak of a tree frog. Buzz of
it is like a chameleon. This time
the buzz of one cicada, and then the full chorus. Regis stepped away from the tree, shaking his shoulders, releasing the tension. He walked into the middle of the road, looking in the direction of the door. The attack came from the left. The juvenile roared as it swung its head forward, knocking Regis flat to the ground.
Oh.
He yelled and scrambled to his feet, but the Tyrannosaur pounced, and he must have pinned him down with his hind leg because suddenly Regis wasn't moving.
Oh.
He was sitting up in the path, shouting at the dinosaur and waving his hands at it, as if he could scare it off. The young dinosaur seemed perplexed by the sounds and movement coming from its tiny prey. The juvenile bent its head over, sniffing curiously, and Regis pounded on the snout with his fists. Get away! Let me lock in the voice. Get away! Back off! Go on, back off! Regis was shouting at the top of his lungs, and the dinosaur backed away, allowing Regis to get to his feet. Regis was shouting, "Yeah, you heard me! Back off! Get away!" As he moved away from the dinosaur, the juvenile continued to stare curiously at the odd, noisy little animal before it. But when Regis had gone a few paces, it lunged and knocked him down again. It's playing with him, Grant thought. Hey! Regis shouted as he fell, but the juvenile did not pursue him, allowing Regis to get to his feet. He jumped to his feet and continued backing away. You stupid! Back! Back! You heard me! Back!
That'd be funny if like he survives this. No, it'd be funny if like they actually became friends. Like, back, shoot you! I don't want to. I don't want.
He shouted like a lion tamer. The juvenile roared, but it did not attack, and Regis now edged toward the trees and high foliage to the right. In another few steps he would be in hiding. Back! You! Back! Regis shouted, and then, at the last moment, the juvenile pounced and knocked Regis flat on his back. Cut that out! Regis yelled, and the juvenile ducked again, urged at the high pitch.
That's not.
The scream came off abruptly, and when the juvenile lifted his head, it saw ragged flesh in his jaws. Oh no, Lex said softly. Beside her, Tim had turned away, suddenly nauseated. His night vision goggles slipped from his forehead and landed on the ground with a metallic clink. The juvenile's head snapped up. Basically like
Chisel noise.
Damn it, Tim! The juvenile's head snapped up and it looked toward the top of the hill. Tim picked up his goggles as Grant grabbed both the children's hands and began to run. Yeah, so
I wanted him to have a better chance than the Dennis. I was hoping that he'll come back.
We just ended up playing with the juvenile before getting turned to mincemeat.
Well, so here's the thing. Let me explain. I was hoping eventually it seems to me that Ed Regis was going to eventually die, just not this early in this. If I had written the story, he would have died eventually, but I feel like I wanted him to come back, apologize to the kids, and then make it up to them one way or another, and then eventually die.
Nah, that bastard gotta go.
I don't think he was a bastard. He just
the fat boys.
He got scared.
I can understand why Ed Regis was cut from the film, because a lot of the deaths in Jurassic Park do feel a bit repetitive and similar to other deaths. However, I feel like there could have been something here had we left the younger Tyrannosaur and Ed Regis in the film. We could have had some gold here. Steven, my boy, Spielberg, David Koepp, come on, y'all messed up. Hopefully the next Jurassic movie can make up. Hopefully the next Jurassic movies will, however many they make in the future, makes up for this.
I don't know. I think the budget with that. I think what ended up happening was that they had too much budget on the first Tyrannosaur, and it was big. To make a smaller one would have been costly.
I mean, with the Lost World Jurassic Park, they were able to make two full-size T-Rex models and a little guy.
And plus, they didn't want. Well, the thing is,
Anyways, they did make.
Well, yes, but that's because they had a bigger budget to deal with.
I'm aware of how budget works.
Anyways.
Okay, do not speak to me of how movies work.
Okay, so now my turn.
We're on to the controls. Now it is your turn.
In the night, the compy scurried along the side of the road. Harding's jeep followed a short distance behind. Elliot pointed further up the road. Is that a light? Could be, Harding said. Looks almost like headlights. The radio suddenly hummed and crackled. They heard John Arnold say, You're there?
You know what? Give Harding the Hong Kong Phooey voice.
No, I don't know how to do that. There he is, Harding said. Finally, he pressed the button. Harding's more like the other John. He's like the other Grant, Dr. Grant of this part of the story. That's how I feel like he's the other. Harding,
for those of you who remember the Telltale game, Harding was the main character of the Jurassic Park Telltale.
Yes.
Unfortunately, that game is no longer, or it's not canon.
Press the button. Yes, John, we're here. We're near the river, following the compass. It's quite interesting. More crackling then. More crackling. Then, eat your car. What do you say? Janelle said, something about a car. I said,
quick, everyone, get in the car.
At Grant's dig in Montana, Ellie was the one who operated the radiophone. After years of experience, she had become skilled at picking up garbled transmissions. I think he said he needs your car. Harding pressed the button. John, are you there? We can't read you very well. John. There was a flash of lightning, followed by a long sizzle of radio static. Then Arnold's voice. Where are you? Where are you? Oh, we're 1 mile north of the Hepsi Paddock, near the river, following some copies. No, damn! We'll get back here. Ow! Sounds like he's got a problem. Ellie said, frowning.
No, yeah.
They're like that'd be so funny if like one half of the horror story is like ah, and this is the other half of the story where like casual, just like oh yeah,
John Arnold,
Ellie
Harding Sattler and Hawkins easy, like skipping through the middle, like following a bunch of copies, like skip together. John Arnold is just like.
Meanwhile,
John Arnold is watching them on the computer. Like, please, I need your car. Get back here.
Meanwhile, Muldoon's part of this is basically Dino Crisis. Like he's living the act. He gets the action. Grant gets the horror. And Grant, what's her name? Tim and
Lex.
Sorry, Tim and Lex they get the horror part, and everyone else gets the horror part, right? Hardly they've been through the menus, and Muldoon's like going through some horror.
Sattler's shoulder remind me to thank John for a lovely cat. Later, place his hand on John Evans' shoulder. This weekend was not comfy, man. This wasn't worth it.
I said no. There was no mistaking the tension in the voice. Maybe we should go back. Harding shrugged. I don't know. John's frequently got a problem. You know how the engineers are. They want everything to go by the book. He pressed
engineer.
He pressed the button on the radio. John, say again, please. More crackling, more static. The loud crash of lightning.
Flash, beetle.
Then, need your car. Ow. Gennaro frowned. Gennaro. Oh yeah, Gennaro's with them apparently. I forgot. Yeah. Gennaro.
Remember, Donald Gennaro was not. He was not the lawyer.
Is this return need a car? All right. Okay. Is this saying return need a car?
Because in the books, Donald stayed with Gennaro, the lawyer. He stayed with Sattler and Harding.
He gets this.
In the movie, however, he experienced Ed Regis's
sort of.
He experienced Ed Regis's death, but
on a similar scale.
At the hands of Rexy instead.
I feel like this was most serious, so they had him die on the toilet.
Instead of the juvenile.
I feel like they had him die on the toilet to make it more.
They tried to poke some more humor, like kill the lawyer.
Well, anyways. That's what it sounded like, Ellie said. Well, that doesn't make any sense, Harding said. Other stuck Muldoon. What? Car! I get it. The other cars are stuck on the road in the storm, and Muldoon wants to go get them. Harding shrugged.
Yes.
Why doesn't Muldoon take the other car?
Someone's got the other car.
Meanwhile, Muldoon's like he's running through the forest. A random raptor leaps. Get me a car! No. Like he's running through the forest, and he's actually he's running through the forest instead of
Jurassic Park games where they had Grant just like wander through each level.
No, he's not
shooting an island, shooting at a random population of raptors.
No. It'd be funnier if he's running through the jungle instead.
No, I'm talking about the video games where Dr. Grant was like the main character. Those old classic 2D arcade games.
Yes.
And like you had all these random 2-bit, 8-bit games where Grant is like riding on the river. You had to dodge the Rex head snapping at you like beep beep beep.
Okay, but listen. Okay, it'd be actually funny if Muldoon was like running through the trenches, and then also the trenches running through the jungle, and instead of being chased by random raptors or other dinosaurs, instead he's being chased by the predator. It's a totally different story on this toy. Muldoon, I will kill you. And it's like they're like evenly matched.
Want some candy? That's a reference from Predator 2, if any of you have seen that movie.
Why doesn't Muldoon take the other car? He pushed the radio button. John, tell Muldoon to take the other car. It's in the garage.
There is no other car.
The radio crackled. Not listen, crazy bastards. Car! I thought you feel like panicking and said, car, damn it, car! Harding pressed the radio button. I said it's in the garage, John. The car is in the garage. More static. Adric has missing one. I'm afraid this is getting us. This is getting us anywhere. We're breaking up. Romance over. I'm afraid this isn't getting us anywhere. Just Paul. Damn it! What does a black guy have to do with the damn white man? I know it's July, but June was last month. I was this close, damn it! Looks at the sky with all the rain. Damn it!
Give me the ball.
No, I'm joking.
Leave.
No,
leave. That should get. That's just gonna get us canceled. Oh my god. I cannot believe you said that on live. I know we don't have an audience right now, but
hey.
Oh my god. Imagine if someone like watches this later, like Twilight Guardian or
no, they'll be fine.
Or hell, like one of the Tolbert sisters. Imagine
they'll be fine. They'll just
we have to live with that. This is gonna be live.
I'm
this
joking.
Is gonna be on
Everyone knows I'm joking. I'm making a fuss out of nothing. Anyways, let's see, where am I?
I don't think everyone is as understanding as you make them out to be.
Anyways, where is it? Let's see. I'm missing. All right, John, we're coming in now. All right, John, we're coming in now. He turned the radio off and he turned the car on. Turn the car around. Okay, so turn the car around.
Turn the car
I just wish I understood what the urgency is. But sorry, Hardy put the Jeep in gear. They rumbled the you know when you go down a dirt path and the car just goes. Minutes before they saw the welcoming lights of the safari lawn. Welcome to the park. As Harding pulled to a stop in front of the visitor center, they saw Muldoon coming toward them. Oh, hi, Muldoon! That just comes over. Why didn't you listen to the radio?
You were trying to tell me we needed a car! A car, John, a car!
This car?
And on shoulder, this car. Yes!
What happened to the other car?
Nedry, the fat bastard!
Well, the radio's gun shot, so.
He took the other radio. We need this one.
Anyways. Muldoon coming toward it. He was shouting, waving his arms. God!
I
And then
transition.
God! No, God damn it, Arnold, you son of a bitch! God damn it, get this park back on track! No!
Right. I think we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
We're back. All right.
God damn it, Arnold, you son of a bitch! God damn it, get this park back on track! No!
You did more like Emperor Palpatine.
That's my shouting voice for him. I'm sorry. It's just. So I'm trying to also have it mix it to where like it's Hammond, but like with the Palpatine like voiceover. Anyways, John Hammond stood in the current control room, screaming and stamping his little feet. He has like little tiny feet, like it's just a big pot. That was like a big Giga Chad. Capital H. Close parentheses.
This is happening entirely.
Oh, sorry. Meter of this is yes.
Leave a comment.
Is it only the Transformers?
Stay tuned for that until later. Until next time, everyone. Now, tip our hats to you. Cheers, much love as always, and until next time. See you all in the next.
Hey, welcome back again. Sorry, one last thing before we go. And I'm so sorry again for the internet connections. I have no idea why that is happening. It's probably because of the storm that we had recently, but
Cloud coverage
and all that stuff. But the next Venom will be about Spider-Man. Okay, well, so the next one will cover the first Spider-Man film by the Tobey Maguire saga. So we'll start with that. See you all soon. Bye-bye.